This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, all our friends on Facebook, all our colleagues around the world. This is Reverend Dr. Aquilus Ricks coming to you live on our Facebook feed for AfriH. AfriH is an acronym for Africans for Restoration of Ethics in Government. We are a nonpartisan organization that harnesses the expertise of professional Africans and global partners to discuss issues significant to Africa and the African people and how our different careers and our experiences can better the lives of Africans. Today we are honored. It's always a joy to have a professional candidates, professional people join us on our interviews. And today we are honored to have with us uh, a colleague, a professional African, a woman who has a lot of experience and a passion for Africa and for the African people. And she runs organizations that cater to the needs of Africans. And today we are honored to have our featured guest, Miss Patience Blay. She is the founder of the Center for Women and Children Empowerment, an organization set up to help vulnerable women, children, and youth to achieve self-sufficiency and create a vibrant society. She also conducts a weekly Facebook event called Health Matters on her Facebook platform called Fortified City TV. She is also a partner in a weekly internet radio program on Facebook called 2A Radio TV, where issues in politics and policies are discussed. And she does all this while pastoring a local congregation in the state of Minnesota, USA. Miss Patience, welcome to AfriH.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on this program today, and I'm glad. I'm just glad to be here. I want to say, to the viewers out there, I'm happy to be here, and I mean, for you to hear what we have to say today. So you are also welcome.
Thank you, thank you. We're going to begin our session with you looking at this an era that is so important and so dear to your heart. Your organization, the Center for Women and Children Empowerment. We want to start with a question for you, Ms. Blay. What is women empowerment? What does it mean?
Women empowerment. That's a, a very huge word, and it has lots of meaning depending on the area for which you you want to go, or the angle of which you want to go. And for some, we will say the process of helping women get stronger, gain more confidence, have control over their own lives and so forth. But I want to go a little bit deeper into what women empowerment is. I can look at several ways. The first thing I will say is that you want to raise the status of women. You want to take them from one level. The Bible says, mind me, I'm going to be bringing in some, scripture of wisdom, the wisdom from the scripture. The word of God says he takes us from the arch hip, and set us among princes, even the princes of his people. That is elevation. You know, you take women, you raise the status of women. When I talk about status, we want to see our local government. We want to see, I'm talking about Liberia because this is where our center is, located. So, how many women ministers do we have? How many women do you have as professors? How many women do you have that is senator or maybe representative? So empowering women, it's very huge, because if you look at women, you know that they are the vision carrier. They are the one that nurture. They are the one that that they are so patient, and they are full of wisdom. And so there's an adage that we say, if you train a girl child, you have trained like almost a nation, because of the inborn nature of a woman to nurture. She carries that on very, very long way. So to empower women is to raise the standard, is to raise that status of a woman. Also, if you empower women, you empower them so that they can be accepted. There are some places, the ego of men will not allow women to function as they ought to function. And sometimes they look down on women. And so that's where women, gender equality comes in and all that. So when we're talking about women empowerment, we want to place women in a place where no matter the gender, they are going to be accepted. So when we talk about women empowerment, we talk about accepting women in whatever area of government, whatever area that they can have impact, to be able to impact the generations and even generations unborn. If we talk about women empowerment, we are talking about education, and which is one of the major way in which we can empower women. And if you look at, I've gotten some videos, based on the work that I do. There are places in Liberia that, I mean, the schools, they are nothing to write home about. You have classrooms and you don't even have teachers. If you have teachers, you don't have the resources. You have a classroom, there are some classrooms that they divide the blackboard into three parts, and that classroom is hosting like three different classes. And this is the generation. This is an era where we are, more of an internet, generation now, and we have to be on par with the other countries. And so when you empower women, you empower them through education. And so education should not be selective when it comes to the country. It should not be selective. It should not be only in certain area or certain part. Let's take, for example, we are in Monrovia, and the focus, everything is focused in Monrovia. They have all the manpower, they have all the materials they need, the teaching instruction, those instructional materials, they have everything. But come to the hinterland, go into counties, go into villages, they are really, really, suffering when it comes to education. And we are talking about empowering women. And one of the ways in which we can do this is to ensure that women are educated. And that's
Wow.
why you see in some of the villages, the people prefer to just send one of the boys to school, because if they realize that, well, I don't have uh, the resources, the money, and so if we have to choose among my children, let the boys go first, and the girl, she will soon get married and she will lose the family name. So you know, being selective. So
Wow.
that's one way. We could go on and on.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah, not
You
only
know,
that, but before you come in, I want
yeah.
to talk about also sorry,
It's
empowerment. Yeah,
I can let me come in. I can see your passion concerning this subject, and
yeah,
obviously it's something dear to your heart. Just thinking about what women have been through the centuries and through the decades,
yeah.
and this thing has been placed on your heart to kind of elevate the status of these women. But let me bring another question to you. And I'm sure you have already alluded to some of these questions I'm going to ask. You already alluded to the answer, but still, I want to bring it
Mhm.
to you. You know, uh, what are you empowering women to do? Because sometimes, when people hear the words empowering women, sometimes it get caught up in the ideology of, is this the feminist movement? It doesn't mean that there's no need for men. So to be more specific, when you talk about empowering women, and I know you mentioned some of these things, But what are you seeking to empower women to do? Why is it beneficial to society for women to be empowered?
Women empowerment. And the reason why it is beneficial, we are not done playing the men. The men will always be there. They will always be our backbone. Uh, that's why we usually say behind every successful man, there is a woman, because that woman, she stands by him. She helping carry the vision, to ever length, whatever length it is. So helping, empowering women is to ensure that you make them trust, trustworthy, not only trustworthy, but truthful. And you help them in making life decision. They come to a place where they are confident, and to be able to share that confidence. It means I know I'm empowered. I have this ability. I have this talent. I'm able to affect my generation. You are not waiting for anyone, but you see the need and you tap into the need. So when you empower a woman, she's not going to wait for anybody. She's like taking initiative, being proactive. And women by nature, that's who they are. They before you sometimes we say before you say Jack, it's done. So we want to empower women so that they can make that decision, life determining decision, that will not only affect them, but affect their society and generations unborn. So if I empower women, what are those women going to do? We look at the different areas in which they can spread out. If a woman is a professor today, she would gladly serve to the best of her ability. And she's serving with all her heart. She's serving looking at the future of the nation, or she's looking at the future of a community. In Africa, we have a lot of stories when it comes to people that are professors and teachers, especially male teachers and all that. You hardly find those stories when it comes to a woman. So when you empower a woman, she she becomes she becomes a go-getter. There are things that she want to get, there are things that she want to see in her community. You will not tell her to, you will not say it twice, and she's there and ready to help. So it is very important, if you want the nation to move forward, we need to pay more attention to how we can strengthen the capacity of women, help them to be self-sufficient, help them to be more focused, help them to be determined, help them in whatever way you are able to help them.
It's interesting that you said that, and I fully concur with what you just said, because oftentimes, when you look at the whole perspective of the family structure, right?
Yeah,
You have the father, you have the mother. If you only have the father speaking, then that means there's one is one dimensional.
yeah,
It's one dimensional. Where if you have the father and the mother speaking, then you have different perspective coming to address a problem that is just, and in fact, with those two perspectives, you have a quicker solution to the problem.
yeah.
So when we kind of interpret that based on what you do empowering women, we're looking at the fact that your message is that it's not just having a male voice, you know, but we need the woman voice along with the male voice, that both voices combined.
Teamwork.
Team,
Yes.
that's a teamwork combined will bring a better solution and a quicker solution to the problem. Whereas if you
Yeah.
only have the male perspective, he only sees it from his perspective. Then the solution that will come up, that will be brought to the table, is more of a male-driven solution. Whereas a
Mm.
male and a female coming together, with equal voice, you mentioned equality, equal voice
Yeah.
to address a social problem, is it's multifaceted. It opens a door to great achievement and great
Yeah,
possibilities and great solutions that will be brought to the table.
that's right.
What are
That's
some of
right.
the skills? Again, let's chat on this thing because this is important. You know, what kind of skills women would need? And again, I know you already mentioned education, which is high. I mean,
Mhm.
and nothing wrong. You want to repeat yourself with that, but let's look at the skills that would need to be empowered, because if the skills needed to be empowered is not developed in her or in a
Mhm.
woman, then there'll still be a lack. Then there'll still be a silencing of a voice.
Yeah,
So the door of education is crucial, as you mentioned, that she would
yeah,
learn, that she would have the ability to learn like her male counterparts, and have knowledge like they have, to bring issues to the table. Now,
yeah.
besides education, is there anything else, any other perspective that you think that she need to be, any other skills? Well, you also mentioned nurturing, so again, that's another one too. But are there any other
Oh
ones that you
yeah.
think about that she
There-
needs to be
we
able to be
we
empowered?
we know that there are so many skills out there, so many things out there that women can do. Education is one, or business is one. But the most important thing here is that society is looking for trustworthy people. Society is looking for truthful people. Society is looking for role model people they can look up to and say, well, this person, I admire the person. This person is a mentor. Society is looking for, someone that will impact the family, impact the community, impact the nation. So all these things put together are skills that we are hoping and trying to install into the sect, or when I say sect, the women, the group of women, or the people that we interact with every now and then. you know and then, like, we talk about education, that's one. Then we come to business, and sometimes we think that government is the employer in which that they provide a lot of stuff, and you be able to forge a hair quick, or maybe get the thing or get the money that you're supposed to get to do the things that you want to do as pertain to your life decision. But when it comes to business, there are a lot of things that can happen in your life when you venture into business as a woman. A lot of things. Now you are either going to be providing goods, or you're going to be providing services. So as a woman, we need to encourage women to continue in that path. If it was on a small scale, you want to step up and take it to another level. You want to upgrade, I would say upgrade. So if you were selling something that is smaller, maybe you look at a bigger picture of the vision of what you are doing, and you won't have to look next door, because what we do now most of the time, if we're looking for professional people, we are looking for expatriate. We should not be so. We should be looking within, inward, looking at our people to be able to develop them to the place that we can. If we're looking for engineer, we can look for a woman. If we're looking for a doctor, or in that is in a specialized area, we can look for a woman, and so forth in a different field. So we encourage women to go for any field that they feel that this area is where I think I have my passion, or where I think I'm going to do well. It's not about what others tell them, it's about what they believe within themselves, that this is where I fit, this is a right fit for me. And I can do this, and I enjoy doing it. And at the same time, I'm being paid for it. So we encourage women to do that. So it can be any skill,
You
as
know,
long as long as you are enjoying what you are doing, and you have that passion for it. It is a good thing.
I think it's amazing that you bring that up because when we look in the world today, we already see this trajectory happening. Different era of studies, different fields
Yeah,
that were mainly male driven. Now you see women. I mean, just expanding the horizon. You know what I mean,
yeah,
and breaking all these limitations. An organization like yours, championing the cause to help women break off these limitations that society put on them. That say, you restricted to this area. You can come this far, but this other field is for a male. This other field is not for a female. It doesn't belong to a female.
not for female.
I mean, and so organization like yours, and we see, helping women, break off these mindsets, break up these
Yeah,
these mindsets that have been placed on them, and these limitations that have been placed on them, that they begin to see that, what, I can do this thing. I can be a scientist. I can be an aeronautical engineer.
yeah,
I can go into space. I can be a miner. I can work in the minefields. I can work in I mean, just about every area that's out there. And so that's empowerment, raising the expectation and helping them
yeah.
see the bigger picture, that you can be
Bigger picture.
anything. You can be
We
anything you
want
want to be. You can be anything you want to be. Uh, let's shift our attention now specific to Africa, because what we do in AfriH, our vision is to provide tips, and that will help our people in Africa be self-sufficient and rise up to the occasion, even in these times we are in.
to.
Within the African setting, and talk to me from your heart. Within the African setting, where you see traditional is male driven. I mean, you mentioned
Yeah,
the ego of men. Within the
yeah.
African setting is male driven. How can the African, woman, how can women in Africa rise to the occasion to begin to contribute and begin to, step, into roles, leadership roles, roles that will bring social change in the community. Uh, I mean, how can they muster that confidence, the word you use, that confidence to step into it?
Now we talk about, or earlier on we talk about building, the coverage, making them strong. Strength is not physical strength. Strength is the confidence that you have, you know. And when it comes to Africa, Africa is underdeveloped, and whatever skill that you have, like I said earlier, you can upgrade. And we are looking at the bigger picture here. If you start small, you should be looking at how you are going to grow and grow big. And, not only in your area, not only in your community and your nation, but how you can take that service or take that goods outside of your nation to another nation. And before you can do that, you have gone through the process of upgrading. You have gone through the process of innovation. Now we live in an era where everything is changing. The way we communicate has changed. I remember very long time ago, we used to use that telephone with the wire hanging on it, and you can go you can go farther than maybe couple of feet. You can't go any longer like that. You Because you are limited by the wire that you know that is attached to the phone. But now we have cell phone, and you can take that phone anywhere. That's innovation. So if you're looking at the business, look at the bigger picture. After you are still stay in business for a while, look at the bigger picture, what you can do. So if I'm taking this business out of here and I want to bring, some kind of change, social change, I need to be innovative. And I need to see what is out there. How are they doing it? How I get better what they already have, So, and in doing this, we always work in partnership with the men, because it's not about competition, but it's about bringing change to our community. It's about leaving a legacy as a woman, as a mother. So all those things put together can make, we can help bring this to our doorstep. When I talk about doorstep, right to Africa, make Africa better. So our skills, this my skill, your skill, and the skills of everyone coming together, we can do great things and we can affect our generation.
It's that's a good friend because and I like what you said that it's not about competition.
No,
In other words, male men, Africans, men watching this, that will be watching this interview, Africa shouldn't feel threatened. Men shouldn't feel threatened.
no,
It's not about who competing, but it's more of community. It's more of, you know, pushing the nation forward. And so
that's right.
there shouldn't be that mentality of a threat that, oh, she's threatening me, she's threatening because she may be more she may have a PhD, I may just have a BSc. There shouldn't be no feeling of competition there. But we should they should look at the bigger picture that we put together, we can help our community.
Yeah,
We can help the
yeah,
nation go forward. We can bring jobs. We can cause growth in different sectors. We can improve our living conditions. And when you mentioned earlier about a woman being a nurturer, there is something about someone who nurtures. You want to see the best for your children. So which
yeah,
means, because you want to see the best for your children, it means your eyes are open to the kind of water they drink. you
oh,
know.
yeah,
So when a woman say, what, the drinking water in the community is causing diarrhea or something, what I mean? She wants to step up because as a nurturer,
you
she
want
know it
change.
shouldn't, yeah, she wants change. It
Yeah,
shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't
no,
be that way, She
you don't
wants
want
your
a
children.
sick baby on her hand.
There you go. So her nature tell her that it should, this is not how it's supposed to be. We
No,
want to see electricity. We want to see good schools, good roads, and things like that. And so there is a place that both male and female can come to this table of equality, and put ideas together that will help
yeah,
the nation go forward. That will
yeah,
help the nation go forward. And Africa needs to understand that again, it's not about competition, but it's
no,
about developing the community, laying foundation for our children, and giving. I would say this: whenever young girls see, you know, women, mothers, active like that, like what you talk about in your training, how you preparing women for this role of empowerment, it challenges them to also think the dream big. You know,
yeah,
that you talk about mentorship,
yeah,
that person become a mentor to younger girls.
yeah,
That they too see, what, I have a place at the table too. I have
that's
something
right.
I can contribute as well. You know, um, I got one more question for you. Let's talk about African governments. Let's talk about government, the role of government. Um, how, first of all, do you think African government needs to be involved in this whole
Of
idea
course,
of women empowerment? And
definitely.
if so, what role can they play in helping women be empowered to bring about social change?
African governments, like you said, they need to be fully involved. Let's take, for example, I'm from, you know, where we're from, our foundation, we're from Liberia. And government institution that has a statutory obligation on gender, like we have the gender ministry, yeah, they must exercise that statutory role, you know, in not only exercising, but it should be done effectively to bring on. Let's take, for example, there are a lot of cases. I don't know whether you have heard, but if you go on the internet, there are a lot of domestic violence case, and that's where we started doing some awareness on domestic violence. There have been a lot of domestic violence cases. There have been a lot of rape cases. Now we have this institution called the Gender Ministry. They have statutory obligation to ensure that whatever is happening, as we are seeing now, oh my God, should not be happening, you know. And so they should do. Oh, my battery going low. I'm so sorry. Let
That's all right.
me
That's all right. I got you,
let me
Claire. I
yeah,
got you. I
let
got
me
you.
Let me just put it on charge while we're talking. Sorry, my viewers.
All
Uh,
right.
in my rush, forgot to plug this. Yeah.
We'll give you a minute. As we give a minute, again, you are watching AfriH, Africans for the Restoration of Ethics in Government, and our featured guest is Miss Patience Blay, and she's talking about what she does as an organization in Liberia, Women Empowerment. Go ahead, continue with your comment
Yeah.
concerning
So
government involvement.
yes, they have this obligation to ensure that women are safe, women are educated, uh, they are protected, the laws of the land should protect them, and everything else. Now, they cannot do this alone. Government cannot do this alone. We are seeing the lapses already in the things that are happening right now. It's because they they are trying to do this, you know, everything all by themselves. Now they need to partner with civil society organizations. They need to partner with non-governmental organizations to make the work easier, because where you are unable to reach, those organizations that are situated in those different communities, they will be able to help to implement those projects, that is part of your statutory obligation. They will be able to bring some kind of solution. So that's why I said government, they need to be involved, and they need to involve the civil society organizations. They need to involve the non-profit organizations. That way you will get results faster. If you want to do this all by yourself, the results you should have gotten in 2 or 3 months, it's going to take you like 3 4 years before you get that, because you are dragging at a snail pace. That's what you're doing. But everyone, working together in unity, when all hands on deck, we call it, when every one of us bring our expertise together, we are able to solve a particular problem. So their involvement would mean that they have to partner with other organizations to make this, what it's supposed to be.
And just even to add to what you said, I mean, provide funding, for women-owned businesses, training and development,
Yeah,
scholarships as well,
yeah,
scholarships that way that women, women get the education they need, to be able to contribute to society. Because, as I look at it, we have this responsibility to our community, to our nations,
yeah,
to our neighborhoods, and we can't just sit down and see things, get bad, or see things go from bad to worse, when we have the knowledge and the skills, and it doesn't matter who brings it, it's not just only the guys that can bring it, but women have those expertise and knowledge as well, that can help society be propelled, to a better future. I'm
mhm,
glad you
that's
mentioned
true.
concerning partnerships, that there has to be public-private partnerships,
Yeah,
nonprofit organizations get involved, and government being able to work with these people, that what I call boots on the ground, boots on the ground,
yeah,
because these people, like women, they live in these communities. They see I mean, they see firsthand the hunger, they see firsthand the lack of school supplies. They see firsthand the bad roads to transport goods and services. So they see these things firsthand. And government must be able to come alongside them to be able to provide the resources and the funding that they need. Even listen to the cries when you talk about fixing public policy, listen to them as well.
yeah.
Listen to them as well, because they know, they see, they know what's hurting their communities,
Yeah.
along
You
with
know
the
those
middle.
those those little organizations that work in a community, they have all those information that you need.
Yes.
They are the first point of contact. So if you're working with an organization, you will know the place to really come in, meet the need of the community, whether they need more schools, whether they need clinic, whether they need, just awareness, whatever the need is, you get to know, because that organization is situated within the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Wow, we can go on and on and on, but our time is pretty much over. But I want to say this before you leave, before we conclude. This is a good subject. This is something that is admirable. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your organization, Center for Women and Children Empowerment, which means you don't only look at empowering women, but you also look at children as well, elevating
Yeah.
children as well. Even though our segment was more geared towards women, but you are also concerned about children rising up to meet their full potential. Uh,
Yeah.
are there any final thoughts you would like to leave for our viewers, people, policymakers, in Africa, or leaders in Africa, or just the women in Africa? I mean, are there any final thoughts you want to leave before we conclude?
Well, my final word is not only about people in Africa, it's about anyone that have a passion to help, that you have this passion to bring change to whatever the situation, wherever it is. There are people here that are supporting programs in different countries, because they have passion and they want to see change. They want to help in some way or the other. So we at the Center for Women and Children Empowerment, and I call CEWC for short, we are looking at different projects. The first thing we're doing right now, we are doing awareness on domestic violence. There have been a lot going on in Liberia. Every corner, every sector, you find domestic violence, gender-based violence. So everything we are doing, you cannot work alone. We need partners to be able to be more effective. So we are doing awareness, and the next thing we want to do is not only that. When you talk about domestic violence, there's a lot involved, especially when it comes to you know making sure that you take the case to the end, from A all the way to Z, because you want to see that this is settled properly. You have women that are being abused, but because they have no way, they don't have any skills, they don't have anywhere else to go, where to get money, for daily upkeep. So they remain in an abusive home, in an abusive, you know, relationship. So looking at this, that we want to have a safe home for people that are going through that situation. This safe home, it's like a transitional home that you can stay for 3 or 4 months while your case is going through the process. That means it's being the lawyers and all those involved in the case. And when it comes to an end, during that period, you are with us. You're going to be trained, have a little skill, and when it's time to go, we set you up, just a startup, something to start up with, whether it's a startup capital or whether it's the equipments that you need. We provide them, and then you can start on your own. But it is important. We cannot do this on our own. We will need help. We will need funding. We will need anyone that able to be, able to help. Maybe you got your skills and you want to help, or maybe you have, the resources available. It could be any kind, whatever it is that you can do, you can be a partner. So my last word, we need to make our community better. And in order to make it better, all of us must play our part and play it well. There is no little effort that is worthless. Everything we do, it add to the whole. So I'm asking and I'm encouraging everyone to be part of this collective effort to bring change to our community and to our nation.
How can they reach to you? How can they reach out to you?
We have an email, and the email is celib@gmail.com. And I have my number. We have a Liberian number, but I can't remember it off here right now. But I have my own number, which is 952-201-9287. So you have 952-201-9287, and you have cewcelib@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, world partners out there, listeners out there, policymakers out there. This has been another session of AfriH, and our featured guest has been Ms. Patient Blay, founder of the Center for Women and Children Empowerment. And she has just shared her heart and her passion with us in contributing to the education and to the upkeep and the raising up of women to empower them to step in, to get involved in social change, in social transformation. And with her organization and others, out there that's working hard to educate our women, to empower them, we want to salute them, and we want to let them know that we stand with them, and we wish them all the best. And hopefully, if you connect with them, be generous, be a blessing to them as they provide the services to educate and train women for leadership and for the future of Africa. I want to thank you all again. My name is Reverend Dr. Aquilus Ricks, and you have been watching AfriH, Africans for the Restoration of Ethics in Government. And we will leave with the motto of our organization: doing better by doing right. Africa can do better if she simply does right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again, Ms. Blay, for joining us. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.